Now on Eyewitness News.
Kids laughing, it's just like a typical family.
This may look like a typical suburban home, but a police raid there uncovered an entirely different story. The shocking discovery officers made inside. But first,
I paid my taxes. There's nothing left to give.
Governor Malloy takes his new budget proposal on the road. Tonight, voters speak out about the biggest tax increase in state history. Good evening and thanks for joining us this Monday night. I'm Dennis House. It was a packed house tonight as voters got the chance to sound off about a proposal to raise your taxes. Governor Malloy kicked off his listening tour in Bridgeport, the state's largest city, the first of 17 stops across our state. Channel 3's Ray Vieta was at the town hall meeting just back from the Park City tonight, right?
Dennis, I'll tell you what, if this is a sign of what's to come, I'll tell you there will be a lot of people there. Many of them with stories of being unemployed, of being taxed too much, and many fearful of losing more. Karen French got into the auditorium early tonight, early enough to grab a seat and hear the governor's reason for wanting to up taxes. She's unemployed, and it's been that way for 2 years now.
There's nothing left to give. I've shut off my cable, the magazine subscriptions, the video clubs.
A few seats over from her, Joe Salerno, who works at a small barber shop, was worried about how taxes will affect his job.
I'm a barber, and we're not happy with this tax increase. You know, we're a little mom and pop shop, and it's a lot. It's a burden on people.
The stories went along with the faces, about 200 of them, packed inside the City Hall annex, with questions about taxes and questions about their own jobs, their future.
How do we know that any concessions we make won't be flitted away?
Governor Malloy answered as many as he could. A line stretched down and almost out the door. He said this was the deficit he was handed.
I'm trying to find the best course to balance that. And I think, honestly, that you're part of the solution.
It's likely to be a similar scenario across the state as the governor works his way from one corner of the state to the other to take in feedback and see ways in which he can modify his tax plan. A plan to increase taxes more than any other governor in the state's history.
It's impossible to make it. You know, you're supposed to climb up the ladder, not get pushed off.
Very defeated sounding there. The meeting was about an hour long. Still, there were a lot of other people, as you saw there, waiting for their turn to ask the governor questions. The next meeting is on Thursday night in Torrington at the City Hall Auditorium. It starts at 7 o'clock. For a complete list of all the stops Governor Malloy is making, log on to WFSB.com, click on News, and you'll find them there. I'm Ray Vieta, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
This should certainly be a lively series of meetings. Thank you, Ray. At one point during tonight's meeting, one man decided to take an interesting approach to getting the governor's attention over a certain issue. He took to the microphone and then took out his teeth.
I'm only going to look at it if you put your teeth back in.
I'll put it back in.
All right.
Governor Malloy will continue the rest of the 16 town hall style meetings through April. Now you see Mayor Finch there trying to get some order. Meanwhile, Republicans are hoping the Democrats' tax plan will help them win some seats back in tomorrow's special election. Many of the open seats belong to Democrats who took jobs with the Malloy administration. Republicans are saying the governor's budget proposal could help them win those seats back.
The budget proposal last week, I think, was not what everybody in this state wanted to see. Raising taxes is just not the option.
Even if Republicans won every race, they still would not be able to upset the balance in the General Assembly, which is still overwhelmingly Democratic in both chambers. We are following breaking news right now from overseas, from New Zealand, where a huge earthquake, magnitude 6.3, has struck there. The quake caused major damage in the city of Christchurch and caused buildings to buckle and crumble. It happened right in the middle of the workday there. It's not clear how many people have been killed, but police are reporting multiple deaths. We'll have much more from New Zealand coming up on our website throughout the evening and, of course, on the morning news. The snow is gone, but now bitter cold is taking hold all across our state. Just what we need. Let's take a live look from our city cam. High atop the Hartford 21 skyscraper. Many spots in the morning will only be in single digits. Let's check in with the chief, Bruce DePrest, with exactly how cold it is going to get. Bruce?
Well, Dennis, as you said, it's going to be in the single digits in many parts of the state, but it's going to feel like 0 or below. That's because we got a bit of a breeze going on out there. And right now across Connecticut, we see temperatures that are in the teens in many locations, 13 in Norfolk, 18 in Windsor Locks, 16 in Torrington, 17 in Willimantic. It's still above 20 in Meriden and also along the I-95 corridor. But we got the pretty stiff breeze coming in out of the north. It's not terribly strong, but it's enough to notice out there. You got winds generally 5 to 15 miles an hour sustained, and that's creating wind chills in the single digits and teens right now. Even Groton, it feels like 6 degrees, and at Windsor Locks at Bradley International Airport, it feels like 7 degrees. Coming up, I'll let you know what you'll be facing in the morning. We're missing a storm tonight, but I'll let you know when the next storm is actually going to hit us. All the details ahead in the early morning forecast in a few minutes. Dennis.
All right, thank you, Bruce. Police have busted a heroin factory right in a residential neighborhood in suburban Hartford. East Hartford police raided a home on Britt Road and say they found hundreds of bags of heroin, scales, cutting agents, even marijuana, and some ecstasy thrown in for good measure. Police arrested 30-year-old Sharrod Collier and 29-year-old Ebony Collier, charged them with operating a drug factory here. Police tell us there were 4 children inside the home during all of this, ages 3 to 13.
They were great neighbors. I never, ever expect anything of this nature taking place. Nothing warranted me to be even suspicious of them.
Neighbors are telling Eyewitness News there were always plenty of cars coming and going from that home, but they believed they were visitors visiting the family there. A wild scene at the West Farms Mall over the weekend led to 2 people being arrested. Police said 26-year-old Brandon Nunn tried to steal more than $300 in clothing from the Hollister store. When confronted, police say Nunn pushed customers out of the way and tried to run away. He was eventually caught. Police also arrested 30-year-old Brenda Davis when she tried to bail Nunn out of jail because police say she had a warrant for failure to appear in court. Tonight, the hunt is on for a hit-and-run driver after a teenager was hit and left for dead. Pinpoint News Tracker shows you where this happened, right along Route 202 on the Torrington-New Hartford border. Tonight, that teenager is recovering from broken bones and blood clots. Channel 3's Hallie Jackson has the very latest.
Police are now telling us specifics about the truck or SUV that they believe hit 19-year-old Victor Garcia of Torrington. They say they believe it's a late 1990s or early 2000s Ford Expedition or Ford F-150 pickup truck. Garcia's mother tells us it's so difficult watching her son struggle with the pain of his injuries, but it's just as hard knowing that whoever did this to him is still out there.
I'm in church Sunday morning after Sunday school, and next thing I know, I'm getting a call about my son being in the hospital.
Holly Garcia spoke with us in the lobby of Waterbury Hospital, where her son's in intensive recovery after being hit by a car early Sunday morning. It was dark, and he was walking home from a friend's house along this stretch of Route 202 in New Hartford.
I turned to look to see what was behind him and saw a truck coming at him.
The impact sent Garcia flying 20 feet, his mother says.
He remembers waking up screaming.
He crawled to the side of the road and called 911. An ambulance took him first to Torrington, then to Waterbury, where his mother says he went into intensive care.
To see my son that much pain, he's in so much pain. It hurts to see him in pain like that, and I can't do anything about it.
Still, Holly says Victor's incredible attitude and sense of humor keep him going through all this. But what's really hard for the family to deal with, why the driver that hit Victor did not stop.
Not call the police, not call an ambulance, not say anything, just leave and not leave him there like a dog.
That's where the Garcias are pleading with anyone who may have seen anything Sunday morning to call state police, to speak up, to help ease the pain for this family, at least a little, for now.
It's just very hard not knowing who did this to him. Somebody not coming forward and saying something.
State police say that evidence shows that the truck or SUV that hit Garcia may have had damage to its front passenger side headlight area even before this crash. They're asking anyone with information to call them at 860-824-2500. With the Mobile Newsroom in Waterbury, I'm Hallie Jackson, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Let's hope someone comes forward. All right, thanks, Hallie. Business owners and tenants at this plaza in Southbury are trying to get back to work after the entire complex pretty much burned to the ground. The Board of Selectmen is now hosting a meeting at Town Hall tomorrow to talk about any help the town and state could offer to the merchants who are impacted. Today, the dentist who owns the plaza was sifting through the charred rubble to find patient records. He told Eyewitness News the practice plans to reopen out of a trailer.
By the end of this week, we should have a complete mobile dental suite here with 5 or 6 chairs on this spot.
The fire marshal is calling the fire accidental, but he may not be able to pinpoint the exact cause of the blaze. Still to come, all new tonight at 11, a school bus hurdles out of control right down a ravine. How rescue crews braved rocky terrain to help pull 24 teenagers out of the wreckage. Plus this.
Even if this bill passes, we won't be going away till we get our rights back.
A stalemate in the Midwest. Budget protests continue for a 7th day in Wisconsin. Tonight, how the governor is handling demands that he resign from office. And hunting down hijackers, how the Navy is working to rescue 4 Americans taken hostage while yachting off the coast of Africa. And then this.
So you wanted to make it a drive-through where you can just drive up, grab whatever you want, and leave.
This is really the story of the night. A thirsty thief goes to great lengths to grab a drink, and police did not have to go very far to track the suspect down. There he is.
Covering news in your town. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11. Eyewitness News is everywhere in Connecticut.
We continue to follow developing news tonight. A 6.3 magnitude earthquake rocked the southern New Zealand city of Christchurch. It caused major damage to the city, already reeling from an earthquake just 6 months ago. Channel 3's Betty Newen reports.
Chaos on the streets of New Zealand's second largest city as injured and dazed residents tried to flee a major earthquake and its aftermath.
This building comes down, you got no chance. Can you all go back there, please?
Streets buckled and buildings crumbled, spewing brick and shattered concrete everywhere. Cars were crushed. An iconic stone cathedral sustained heavy damage.
It's just huge. It is huge. And you know, the buildings are buildings. The really important thing are the people, and we just don't know if there are people under this rubble. I fear there are.
It happened in the middle of the workday when offices, schools, and streets were crowded. Police have reports of multiple deaths. Rescuers tried to free people trapped in the rubble.
Actually, I was coming, and was stuck in the door and I hit with the table, the table in the restaurant. Yeah, and 2-3 people just fallen on me.
The mayor declared a state of emergency and ordered people to leave the city center, closing the airport and evacuating the hospital. Christchurch has been hit by hundreds of aftershocks since a 7.1 magnitude earthquake struck last September. That quake caused an estimated $3 billion in damage, but no deaths. Betty Nguyen, CBS News.
Back here in the U.S., the budget battle in Wisconsin continues tonight for the 7th day. Thousands of demonstrators packed the halls of the state capitol in Madison, demanding protection of union rights and calling for Governor Scott Walker to resign. The governor is not backing down from office or his controversial proposal that aims to end collective bargaining rights for most public employees. The Republican governor says he's not a union buster, but rather a budget balancer. And he's going to balance his state's budget right, he says. While union members say they will make some concessions, they will not give up their voice in collective bargaining.
Even if this bill passes, we won't be going away till we get our rights back.
The legislature goes back into session tomorrow. Governor Walker says it's time for those 14 Democrats to return to the legislature. Meanwhile, they say they will not return without a compromise. Unrest in the Middle East continues after days of protest in the capital of Libya. Today, leader Muammar Gaddafi went on television and announced he does not plan on stepping down, even though several of his government officials have quit and at least one has asked Gaddafi to resign. Meanwhile, demonstrations in Bahrain are more peaceful, but demonstrators say they won't quit until the king steps down. And in Yemen, thousands continue to demand for the president there to resign. Also overseas in that neck of the woods, the U.S. Navy is shadowing a hijacked American yacht off the coast of Somalia. Pirates took over the yacht on Friday. They are now holding 4 Americans hostage. The group had been distributing Bibles on the around-the-world sail when friends say their yacht left a group of ships that had been sailing together for safety, and that's when the pirates moved in. The area where they were captured is a known hotbed for piracy.
Piracy has become a major industry in Somalia, filling really a vacuum of a state that can't provide economic opportunity.
Isn't clear what the Navy intends to do, but if they wait until the pirates make it to land, the fate of the hostages may be less certain. Eyewitness News is everywhere across America. In Oregon, a snowboarder is recovering after being plucked from the side of Mount Hood. He was stranded there for more than 24 hours. The man wanted to hike up the mountain and then board back down when he became lost in the heavy snow. He was able to call a friend on his cell phone, which helped trigger a search. He said he spent the night huddled in the fetal position to stay warm. In Southern California, at least one person is dead and several others injured after a school bus crash in the San Bernardino Mountains. The bus was carrying dozens of teenagers when it collided with a truck, hit a pole, and then careened down an embankment that was covered in snow. Rescue crews braved the rocky and slippery terrain to rescue the students. Investigators are now looking into whether snow or ice contributed to that crash. In Massachusetts, one very thirsty man crashed his SUV into the front of a liquor store, while drunk, of course. Take a look at this as this white SUV smashes through the front of this liquor store in Seekonk near the Rhode Island line. The driver, Joseph Grillo, who's a doctor from Rhode Island, is seen trying to reach through the mangled door after he crashes into the store to grab a beer. Watch him right here. The five-finger discount. Unable to reach the beer, he gives up, finally, drives off. Soon after police caught up with Grillo, he was arrested and charged with DUI. But it seems that night it's still a little fuzzy for the doctor.
You know, I feel very, very badly about what happened and, you know, plan to take suitable action.
What that suitable action will be is unclear. Police believe the doctor deliberately crashed the Jeep into the store because he was thirsty and wanted a drink.
Now, Channel 3 Early Warning Weather. Powered by Early Warning Pinpoint Doppler. Tracking weather in your town and everywhere in Connecticut.
Well, as you know, we woke up to snow this morning. 1 to 3 inches was a common number across the state, but in southwestern Connecticut and Fairfield County, they hit the jackpot there with a half a foot or more in some places, like Greenwich, 7.5 inches, Darien, a little bit less at 5 inches. In northwestern Connecticut, Cornwall, 3. And then the rest of the state, 1 to 3 inches. Milford, Tolland, Litchfield, all around 2.5 inches of snow. Danbury, Waterbury, West Hartford, New Haven, around 2 inches. Moosip, 1.8. And in Higginham, Paul Kelly reported 1.5 inches of snow. Now, at Bradley International Airport, the total for today was 1.6 inches. So we're now moving up through the ranks again. The total for this season is up to 81.5 inches. Before today, we were tied for 6th place of the snowiest winters on record. Now we're solidly in 5th place, and we're not that far away from 2nd place. We only need, well, several more inches, and that could happen over the next couple of weeks easily. All right, let's check out where we stand now on Early Warning Pinpoint Doppler. Our snow is gone, but we see more snow just to the southwest of New York City. That's another coastal storm, but notice that the snow is not advancing toward Connecticut. It's running into some very dry air over us. We got a northwesterly flow aloft over us, so that snow has no chance of reaching us. Here's early warning. Well, I should take a look at our city cams first, where we have cloudy skies over Hartford, but no snow. Putnam, nice and quiet. And we look at our live city cam in New Haven. You can see a bit of a breeze out there, enough to create wind chills in the single digits and teens. Okay, temperatures now. It's down to 12 in Norfolk. A little while ago it was 13. Windsor Locks is 18. It's 21 in Meriden, 19 in Danbury, and 17 degrees in Willimantic. And on the big picture, you see a storm off to our west, and you say, how can this thing miss us? But we got the northwesterly flow aloft and high pressure also nosing in from central Canada, so that's going to keep all that snow away from us. We are getting the fringe clouds from it, but you notice that the snow is moving to the east-southeast and not advancing toward Connecticut. Pittsburgh actually had some heavy snow a couple of hours ago, but that's not in the cards for us. Now, tomorrow evening, we'll have high pressure moving out of central Canada, the clockwise flow around it. That means a northerly flow, a shot right out of the north. So tomorrow is going to be another cold day. Early warning futurecast shows snow in New Jersey at midnight, but watch how it gets kind of shoved to the south by 7 a.m. So tomorrow morning we'll start out with some clouds. Skies will become mostly sunny tomorrow. It'll turn out to be a nice bright day. And then Wednesday, high pressure is going to move right into New England. So Wednesday morning, 7 a.m., nice and clear at 7 p.m. Lows tonight in the single digits and low teens, feeling like 0 if not below, and your highs tomorrow generally 25 to 30. Might top the 30-degree mark along the I-95 corridor. Wednesday, mostly sunny, 35, a low of 5 Thursday, and then increasing clouds in 42. Looks like Friday's going to bring a wintry mix at this point, 35. Back to fair weather Saturday. Another storm coming our way Sunday, rain or snow, and for the shoreline tomorrow, a high of 30, a breezy, cold day. Tune in to Scott tomorrow morning. He'll have your latest forecast. It all begins on Eyewitness News starting at 4:30 a.m. Dennis.
Thank you, Bruce. A curious pooch finds itself in a precarious position. More on this heartwarming rescue. Ouch. For 19 hours, this dog was trapped underground inside an irrigation pipe at a construction site in Idaho. The 1.5-year-old Jack Russell Terrier somehow wandered in and became stuck. Animal control and construction crews worked tirelessly until they were finally able to rescue that hound. First thing the owner did, he gave his curious pooch a bath. Do you know, or do you want to know, which one of your friends just suffered some heartbreak or who just put a ring on his or her finger? Well, there's now an app for that. You knew it was coming. The Breakup Notifier is a new Facebook app that notifies you of your friend's relationship status change instantly. For those nosy folks who just can't wait, it's kind of a creepy app, some say, and people are using it so that they can keep an eye on their love life and the love lives of their friends. Facebook also just added civil unions and domestic partnerships to its relationship list. Coming up next, girls basketball tournament action takes center stage in the Brass City as Torrington and Woodland meet in the NVL tournament. Joe Zone has all the highlights in sports.
You're watching Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11. Eyewitness News is everywhere, covering news in Connecticut. Now, Eyewitness Sports with Joe Zone.
A special night in Waterbury for Torrington senior Sarah Royals, recognized as the top senior in the Naugatuck Valley League. And then Royals went out and helped her team win a league playoff game. Torrington taking on Woodland in the NVL tournament semifinals. Good play early from Torrington. Alyssa Otis finds Royals. She's got the easy layup. The Red Raiders are on top. Later on, defense leads to offense. Royals, the steal, hits Taylor Cristiano. She's got a layup. She had a game-high 27. Woodland trying to hang around. Heather Framsky nails the mid-range jumper. Framsky led her team to 20. But Royals again does it herself. This time going in for the layup. She had 19 in another big Torrington win. 72-48 the final. Torrington will take on Holy Cross, a winner in the other NVL semifinal. They'll play Wednesday for the NVL title.
I think we're capable of anything, and I mean, we've had a long-standing tradition of second place, so hopefully we can bring it.
We've got a big game coming up Wednesday if all falls into place with Holy Cross. Yeah. If they take care of business tonight, that's going to be a war, and then we'll take it from there.
If you missed Friday Night Frenzy at 11:15 last Friday, you missed boys, girls basketball, state wrestling championship, hockey. If you missed Friday Night Frenzy last week, you missed the local sports. Gino Auriemma was trying to figure out what all the cheering was about, why UConn fans were so excited when they found out during UConn's game with Notre Dame Saturday that top-ranked Baylor had just lost. The fans, of course, were excited because they knew UConn would be #1 today. They are. But Gino asks, aren't they always #1? It appears the melodrama is now over. Sources are saying the Nuggets have agreed to a trade that will send Carmelo Anthony to the Knicks. The Denver Post reporting Anthony, along with Chauncey Billups, will go to New York in exchange for several players, draft picks, and cash. Big East tonight, Syracuse at Villanova. Syracuse playing over the rim all night. Jackson, the alley-oop slam from Chris Johnson, but Villanova kept it close, and when Corey Stokes hit a three, it was 61-60, Syracuse with 2 minutes to go. Final minute, 20 seconds left, actually. Syracuse up 3 with the ball, and a hard foul that at first was ruled intentional and then reversed. Deion Waiters made both free throws. Syracuse won at Villanova, 67-64. The Connecticut Whale on the road, they beat Portland 2-1 in overtime. And finally, on this President's Day, presidential tryouts. The Washington Nationals baseball team has presidential races for home games during the season. It's a grueling job with rigorous training. Many will try. Only a few are worthy. That's sports. I'm Joe Zone. Dennis, Bruce, you got it.
Look nice up there, though. All right. Thanks, Joe. And what are our 3 words?
Oh, tomorrow morning, feeling like 0. That's what the wind chill is going to be. And tomorrow it's going to stay below freezing. I think we'll get above on Wednesday and further above on Thursday. Friday looks like a storm with the wintry mix, snow, sleet, and rain.
Good enough. Thank you, Bruce. Thanks for watching Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11. Don't forget to check out my blog on WFSB.com. The Hartfordite, we're talking about the Whale Bowl and an advice columnist.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News is always on. For breaking news, early warning weather, and webcasts anytime, go to WFSB.com.